Hey guys, it's Christina of CraftyPaws. I'm sending these cards to Kimbo Kreations, who's hosting a challenge for nursing home residents. And I thought I would share with you guys the whole process on how I made these beautiful pine branch swags, which are the focal points for all of these cards. This is a design team project for Diemond Dies, and if you're going to be making a purchase at Diemond Dies, please consider using the coupon code Thanks Christina for 10% off your entire purchase and free worldwide shipping on all orders of $35 or more. I use this really beautiful, intricate pine branch die. I also use the little berries from the holly leaves die set. I use the medium-sized bow from the bow die set. And I had so much fun playing with these dies, some embossing powders. I hope you enjoy the process video that follows, and thanks for watching. I cut the pieces of the bow die set, and here I'm using the edge of my bone folder to curl the loop section of the bow die. And I'm using some art glitter glue to glue those pieces together. I'm layering on the loops on top of the tail, and I'm even curling the center little piece. And here I'm adding a little dimension by adding some foam adhesive to that center piece, and I'll attach that to the center of the bow. I'm gluing on the back, and that's the finished bow. See how it creates such a nice dimension, rounded, not flattened? To add a little interest and sparkle to the edges of the tails of the bow, I'm using Versamark ink, and then I'm going to be putting embossing powder on top of that, just so I get a little extra something for the edges of the bow there. And I'm just heat embossing that, and you can see it's melting. I love using embossing powder, and I had so much fun using it in this project. And those are two finished bows. I've used the Diemond Dies pine branch die, and I cut out a whole bunch of pine branches, and I am pushing in the pine needles into my ink pad of Versamark ink. And I'm doing that kind of haphazardly because I wanted the embossing powder to kind of go along the edges and on the tips of these pine branches, kind of in a haphazard way, the way maybe snow might fall and land on branches before it's gotten totally covered. And I'm doing that to each of the branches. At the beginning, I poured the embossing powder over top of the branch, and here I'm just using the parts that I've caught in a coffee filter, and I'm running the branch through that powder. And then I'm taking my tweezers and holding each little branch, and I am heat embossing all of that gorgeous powder. And this one that you're looking at, it's actually a platinum embossing powder from Sparkle and Sprinkle. And on some of the branches, I used Recollections Sparkle embossing powder, kind of a silvery, almost glittery embossing powder. I'm using EK Tools reverse action tweezers to hold each of these pine branches as I heat emboss them, just to protect my hands from the heat. I love those reverse action tweezers. Here I'm just cutting off the little tops of these branches so that I can gather them and make a little swag together. And I'm just using some old patterned holiday paper, layering that onto a white cardstock card base. And you see me fiddling with the pine branches, just trying to figure out how to make them different heights and layer them to make a nice lush looking swag. I'm using art glitter glue, which is great, especially with that fine tip nozzle. And I'm just adhering that paper bow that I made. I add some little berries from the Holly Leaves berry die set to the lower right corner just to continue and repeat that red color from the bow on that card, but otherwise that one's done. I'm using a My Sentiments Exactly stamp set. It's the Holiday Sentiment set, and I am using Versamark ink and embossing that sentiment on some vellum paper, using the same embossing powder, and just trying to be careful that I don't warp the vellum. I heat the front and then also the back, and I think that helps keep the vellum from warping too much. And I love how that looks. I am cutting that little piece into a banner. and you'll see me cutting the little tails. I'm kind of dry fitting it into place there. And here you're seeing me cut the tails onto that banner piece. And again, I use art glitter glue, and I'm trying to put the glue pieces over top of the letters or behind the lettering. But I decide I'm gonna add 2 dots there on top using the berries from that Holly Leaves Berry die set from Diamond Dies. I hope you enjoyed this process video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. And thanks so much for watching. I hope you're having a wonderful crafty day. Bye!